Before we start our first project, I just want to remind you that today is the second day of our 3-day sale. It's 15% off of any stamp set in this annual catalog. So make sure you check it out. Maybe you missed something that you would like to get a 15% discount on. So the host code is here at the top. You can see that you can put your order on that. And of course, the projects I'm going to show you today, you can get for free if your order is $40 or more. Also, before we start, I want to announce that our winner from last week's video, if you commented prize, which was the word I gave at the end of the video, you would get your name in the drawing for these gorgeous gems, speckled dots. And I'm proud to announce the winner is LaDonna Noggle. LaDonna, I'm going to need you to PM me your address because I don't have that. All right, so let's get started right away with this card. Is that not wonderful? It's fall, folks, and I'm so excited to get into fall projects and to introduce a new stamp set. What did I do with it? Right here. So this is one of our online releases that came out with our scrapbook products. So it was sort of, I think it was separate from our regular online release. And we have several stamp sets to go with the scrapbooking products. And this one is absolutely gorgeous. And I did case this card. And of course, you know how I am with names. It's terrible. I should write it on the card when I make it, right? I just thought this was a beautiful, beautiful use of the stamp set. So I'm excited to show that to you. I don't think I had this in my stash. And because everything is shown a little smaller on here, I don't think I realized how gorgeous also these stamps could stamp. So we are using Cajun Craze, Mossy Meadow, and Early Espresso. And I'm going to just, this ink pad, I grabbed a different ink pad and it's very juicy and I have a feeling it's going to mess up my card. And I don't really have time to show you what I do to de-juice a really inky stamp pad, but I think it's a little much, but if I don't press too hard, maybe it'll be okay. Okay. Just clean off the mess there from going off the edge. Then we're going to fill in. I always start with the largest item first when I'm filling in an area. And so that leaf, of course, is the largest. This one isn't as juicy, so you can see it. With these really detailed stamps, it really looks better if the ink pad isn't too juicy because it has all kinds of tiny little dots that fill in and then you get these big darker spots. And then we have this tiny little solid leaf, which is the perfect finish to this card or to this image that we're making here. I just love how that looks. Okay, now I'm going to just grab my Stamparatus. I have it set up because I want to stamp this big saying from the set onto my card, but because this is really dark, I think I'll go back to my old ink pad for class. This is going to have a little hard time showing up, and I wanted to be able to re-ink it in case I needed a second helping of ink. So let's just ink that with our Early Espresso. We'll stamp that good. Oh, that leaf was not placed well. I think now I know. See, it's good I do these before my class because definitely for class I'm not going to have them put these brown ones in there until they stamp their saying. Too bad I didn't figure that out when I made mine, right? Okay. Well, you get the gist, right? And this will be good for them to see like what not to do, right? It always helps when you see somebody else's mistake. And then I am going to stamp on your birthday, because I wanted to turn this into a birthday card. You don't have to do that. You can just be a thankful card or a Thanksgiving card. But in this case, it could be a birthday card. Bountiful blessings on your birthday. I did want to mention that I was able to build this from called Everyday, and I love that it has mixed fonts. So you got a birthday that's scripty and one that's just a regular font, and they're all pretty much like that. The thank you does not have a non-scripty partner to it, but like you can put thank you and then so much or things like that. So I love sets like this where you can mix and match, because depending on what you're doing, you might need one or the other. All right, and last but not least, I'm going to grab this old tool. I don't know if you still have this, but this roughens up the edge, and I wanted to just create a little extra grunge on the card, if you want to use that term. Not everybody likes this, but there's just little knife blades in between here, and you can use your scissors to do this too, but this gives you a little more control, and then you're not dulling up your scissor blades too. All right, and then we're going to take a piece of linen thread and just tie this around. I want to just tell you how I figure how much. Do you ever watch people's videos and they cut this really long thing of ribbon and then they cut like 3 inches off each end? Does that make anybody else crazy? I would love to know in the comments if I'm the only one. So this, I'm tying a bow. So this is my go-to. It will be a little bit long because it is linen thread and it's really cheap and a lot. I was maybe a little less careful, but I go about 5 inches past the card. So I have it folded in half, and then whatever doesn't cover the card, so that you know that I'm going to wrap it around. So this is going to wrap around, and then I have about 5 inches of tail on the end, and that's my go-to for when I tie a bow. Not a knot, just a bow. I mean a bow, not just a knot. And then of course I want to figure out about where I want it. I want it to go right above my saying. So there we go. I got a little much on the other side, but I will trim a little bit off. But see, I wasn't too bad, like 1.5 inches there. All right, let's go ahead and glue this down, or get it ready to glue to our card. I'm going to put some glue close to the edge here because we're going to add a little bit of trim. I'm using a pack of paper. I don't think I've used it on camera yet, and let me just show you. It's called Iconic Celebrations, and it came out with our last online exclusives, and it's got just a lot of fall and Christmas holiday things. I think there's also some birthday in here, so many different, and there's even some Valentine's. So I think just a lot of different celebrations that you might have during the year. So really cool set of paper. If you're looking for something and you can't find it, I often go there and it's like, oh, so these two papers were in there, and I just cut off a little strip that I'm sticking on either end here. And I'm putting this on my card crooked, so I'm not going to also worry whether or not I have this real straight. But in order to not waste paper, I just figured most of it's going behind, so I might as well just cut little strips and make it go further. And then pop this on here. We will add some gems and then we'll be finished. These are our frosted, faux glass. They look frosted. They're so pretty. And we're going to just add a few of those with my take your pick tool that needs to be stickied. Come on. We'll do a big one and a little one if I can get a hold of it. And we'll do a green one too, since we have green in here. Sometimes you just have to ball that putty up and get it back on top rather than squeezing more out and wasting it. All right, I hope you like that one. Let me know in the comments if you like fall and fall cards. Okay, our next card is a Christmas card. And I'm using Christmas Friends. I borrowed this from Terry. She got this in her order. I was like, oh, that is really cute. Can I borrow that? This is in the holiday catalog. It's a bundle. And I originally did this card just with white trees and added some Wink of Stella to it. But I came back and sponged on some color because I don't know, it was a little too much white for me. So we'll start out with the white and then I'll let you decide what you think is best. We're going to be using a little bit of watercoloring and of course Wink of Stella on this. I embossed this with our tree embossing folder that's just gives you this stunning pop out of trees. That, like I said, I did do it in white and it was really pretty, but came back and added color. So let me just show you what I originally did. I just took my Wink of Stella pen and just turned it a little bit sideways and just went over those top rough areas. And the reason I'm go ahead and doing this first is because that's what I did before, and you can still see the Wink of Stella through it after I put the ink on there. Now, because I'm doing it sideways, the ink, whatever's in here is not going to keep coming out, but there's probably enough on this brush to just really keep it going enough to get what I need. I will tell you, when you get this pen, there is a little black ring in here that has to come out in order for the pen to push down. So many times people have told me that they didn't know that, and they threw pens away because they didn't think they worked. But sometimes you will have to give it a little bit of a squeeze if you're noticing that it's not coming down enough. And like I said, the pressing down is what's going to get it to continue to come out. So you can see there how that's really coming out. If it's really dry, you can just, there's a little push on either side here, and you can push on that and you'll see it coming down the barrel here. Okay, so some little tips there for your Wink of Stella. And now that I got more, I'll just do a little bit more on there. Okay, and I doubt that you'll be able to see this really well, but yeah, there you can see some of the shimmer. Okay, so while that dries, let's go ahead and let me scoot this up here where I won't get it messed up. I'm going to add just a little bit of color, and the way I like to tell if my water painter is wet enough, something about the back of my hand, I can see the wetness and I can feel it, but it's not puddling. So that's where I know it's the perfect amount of wetness. I'm going to start with my Berry Burst is the pink that I'm using. I decided to go with sort of non-traditional colors because they're cutesy little animals, and I just wasn't ready for red and green, even though this is a shade of red and green. So little berries on his wreath around his neck. So we're going to put some Berry Burst in those. And I'm going to show you another way that you can color. Let me just do this side. When I'm watercoloring, I always start where I want the color to be darkest, so that if I lay down a ton of color, I'm not going to be like, oh no, I can't fix that. So, you know, I want it darker in here where it's more shaded, like where a bow would be more shaded. So if you start there, you won't be disappointed. If you get a little more color than you thought you had, you can always make it darker, but make, you know, a darker bow than you planned, but at least it won't be messed up. Oh, I was going to show you that side with a different way. All right, we'll do it on the next bow frond or whatever that is. And I'm just going to wipe this on my scrap paper, which at this point is this little piece of Post-it. Let me grab my, oh, I have it in my hand. Duh. I'm going to grab this and pick up my color from my ink pad. When you do this, of course, you want to make sure you clean up your ink pad before you close it, your lid before you close it. And you can get your color and your Wink of Stella on at the same time. And let me just see if I can get this here where you can see it. I don't know if you can see the shimmer on that. Yeah, there you go. In the camera, it almost looks like there's no color, but I'm going to go back in here now and add Wink of Stella to the rest of this. Now, of course, you can see that there's definitely more color where I did the watercoloring first, but depending on what you want, that would save you doing two different things. And we'll put some on the berries here as well. Get just a little shimmer. I don't think I'm making a very good circle there, but okay. And then, of course, you just want to wipe that tip off as well. Wrong lid. There's the lid for that one. I'm a little absent-minded this morning. I apologize. Okay, I'm not finished with this one. We're going to go ahead and get some color here on the wreath. You can see I didn't fill in all those tiny berries because they would never show anyway, so no use wasting my time, right? All right. Like watching paint dry. Somebody coloring. You can say happy little trees, or happy little wreath, or happy little bear. He looks like a really happy bear, doesn't he? He, she. Whoops, I went over that berry a little bit much with my green. I'm going to just try to get all the green filled in, and then I can go back and make sure that my color isn't. I'm just sort of slopping it on the edge there. But I definitely want it to be a little darker in here around his neck, and I just like colored his whole neck, but hopefully you won't notice that. And then there's a little bit of the wreath here, and there's a little bit over here, and maybe right here. Okay, so there he is. He's done. I'm finished anyways. Okay, put him aside. Let's come back to this. So I'm not going to put this bow on. I'm going to show you that in a second. But if I put him here like that, and I put my Have a Very Merry Christmas, it is really a striking card, especially close up where you see the shimmer. But from a distance, when you look at it and you don't see the little shimmer, it might just be a little plain. So this is when I decided to add a little bit of sponging. And I just grabbed a sponge dauber and actually dabbed it off because I didn't want too much color, and then just lightly tapped over top of my tree. Let's get a little bit more. And I really want, I'm pouncing because I want that circular motion in there a little bit. I'm not turning it, but that circle motion, or that look. And then I decided that I used Basic Beige on this so that you can see it standing out from that. So I decided to come in with Basic Beige as well. And that one's got a little more ink to it. And I added some of that to bring that color into my card. Okay, there we go. I think I'm happy with that. Let's get our bow on. This one's just a tied bow, and I want to show you how much I chose. So I put enough here to tuck this behind, and then this is tips on bows and ribbons today. And then I take and I just make a little circle like that because I want enough to make a faux knot. Okay, so that's how I decide how much ribbon I need. So enough to go behind, to glue behind on the edges here, and then enough to make that loop. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it around my finger. I think it takes a little less to do this than it does the other faux knot where you put a piece behind and then you take another piece and tie it around, because when you need enough to be able to tie something, and because we have all this extra, I really have enough to get that knot tied, even though I might still struggle with getting it tied. And pull that tight, pull that off, and then the part that's in a circular pattern, I'm going to cut that at an angle, and that's going to be my tie that goes on top. I apologize if you've done that before and this is like get on with a card. I know how to do that. And now I can just tuck this behind, put my adhesive here and tack it down. Make sure that's where I want it. I'm going to put some more adhesive over that. I think I missed it. Let me just get, there we go. And then I'll go ahead and put the rest of the glue on my card here. And of course, when I've embossed a card, dry embossed, I do like to put a lot of adhesive on because I don't want that buckling and sticking up on the edges, because it tends to want to do that because of the breaking of the fibers, and so I want plenty on there so it lays nice. All right, we just need some dimensionals here for this little guy. And I think I didn't put gems on this card, and I don't know why. I probably will add some. It's a very gemmy looking card, right? And I have a dimension on this already. This is from the set. I just punched it with our 1 1/4 inch punch. All right, so there we go. All shimmery. Let me see if I can catch some shimmer for you. There you can see a little bit. Okay, next one is on the way. Oh, I did want to show you, I did another one with this stamp set. I had to use the little moose. He's got his little red socks on. And I just created a little window to put that on. You could have popped that on the top as well. Almost looks like an ornament, doesn't it? And then this one is done with that embossing folder. And it has some spritzed on Wink of Stella, where she just took the pen and got it really wet and tapped it like that so that it just splattered. So it's just splattered. And this is by Nancy Amato. Now, how do I remember that? But yeah, that's really beautiful. And, you know, all that's stamped is the greeting. Okay, so the next card that we're going to do is another fall card. And again, I made it into a birthday just because I don't know who all sends fall cards, but okay. So we are going to get messy, and I am using the stamp from Spotlight on Nature, very fall looking, and I'm using the Happy Birthday from Best Family Ever. I love the script, I don't know what you call it. I'm not good with describing things, but sort of a grunge or a handwritten happy birthday, not a fancy script. It looks very relaxed. So we're going to take block H, which I'm sorry, I don't even know if we carry this one anymore, but if you've been stamping a while, you probably have this. And I'm going to start from lightest to darkest in my ink. So this is Daffodil Delight. And we'll get a nice amount of Daffodil Delight on there. On the other side, I'm going to put Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to overlap my yellow a little bit. Don't tell anybody, but I figure there's definitely yellow and orange. And then over top of that side, this side, I'm going to put Cajun Craze. And then we are going to spritz this with water. I've got to grab my, I have one with alcohol and one with water. Let me smell it. Okay, that's water. And I don't want to get this on everything. I just want to show you what's going to happen. I want it to puddle a little bit, and then I will go ahead and turn it over onto my card. And then when you lift it, if there's a puddle here, you can dab it. I don't see any puddles of water, so I will just wipe this off. I almost wore that one. I'm having issues holding on to things lately. Okay, so we've got that on. We do need that to dry before we can do the rest of our card. Let me set that aside a second. We'll go ahead and glue this background on. This is Cajun Craze on pumpkin pie. And I'll just center that. I just made it 1/8 of an inch bigger than my white piece because I just wanted a little hint around to set it apart from the pumpkin pie in the background. We're going to heat this dry just really quick so that I can finish. I don't want to stamp my black on top of it when it's wet because the black will run. So you have to make sure it's good and dry. The wetness definitely bows the card, so I took and heated it from both sides, because you see how that curls up. When I turn it this way and heat it, it will bow the other way. See how it went nice and flat for me? I don't know if you can see that, but when I heat it here, the sides bow up towards me, and then when I do it this way, it presses back down, and these sides bow up again towards me. So it just keeps going back and forth like that. And because I'm heating both sides, when I finish, I should have a fairly nice flat. When it's all dry, it should be nice and flat. All right, I think that's pretty good. Okay, now I did do this on the Stamparatus as well. It's not absolutely necessary, but let's see if I got this in the right spot. But I want to be able to add, again, another layer if I need to. And I will tell you that mine scooted a little bit. I have another magnet here. I'm going to try to magnetize this so it's laying nice and flat. You can see it's still got a little bit of bulge to it. So we'll ink this in Memento. And then I'm going to stamp that. Give it time to jump off of the stamp. And that actually doesn't look bad. It's real airy looking. I might do one more time. This one got a little bit off when I stamped it. That's why I put 2 magnets to hold it, because I didn't want it to move so much. Hopefully this one will be better. There we go. It still got off a little bit. I'm not sure why that's happening. All right, I'm going to stamp my happy birthday with Memento as well. I'm going to try to get it straight here. Hopefully my stamping of the colors are straight. Okay. And then I did add, this is also in the set, and I just add it for fun, this little piece of grunge or whatever it is. And let's go ahead and get adhesive. I'm going to put plenty of adhesive on this too, because it is, it just does have a little bit of bowing up from the wetness. So we want to make sure that's going to lay down nice and flat. Don't stick down there till I'm ready. Looks like I got something here. I need my sand eraser, which I don't think is in here right now. I must have got against something. Okay, and then I do have a bow with our plaid, black and vanilla plaid. I'm going to pop that there. And then I'm using our gems, our pumpkin or a pecan pie and clear. In the pecan pie, grab my take your pick tool here, see if I can pick those up. So I just stuck a large one and a small one and maybe a clear one. You can use whatever color, but the clear will look pretty on there, and pop that out a little bit. Okay, all finished with that. Now we have a fall birthday card, or you could leave the happy birthday off and put a grateful or something for Thanksgiving or fall. Okay, our final card is a winter card. Got this little cute little snowman. I just love I love snowmen, and this image is just beautiful. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. There's a lot of coloring, so I probably will not show you all of that, but I'm using the Filled with Cheer set. There is a die set that goes with this, but just for the wagon. So the rest, if you want to cut it out, it's all by hand. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to do it easier than that. Okay, so I'm going to stamp my image onto my circle here that was punched or die cut from the last set that I just showed you. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me just stamp this first. Make sure we get that good. All right. It comes. Ooh, there goes all my cardstock. Ah. Ooh, that was close. Okay, got it. It comes from Spotlight on Nature, from the circular dies that are in this. So using that for both. 2 different cards today. All right, so I'm gonna color this, but before I do that, I want this little sign to go on his. He's gonna hold this sign that says a warm hello. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that. And then the person that designed this had, I'm just going to wash my stamp really good because I want to ink just his little claws. And I thought I had my black, thought I had a black pen, but we'll just try to get it with just the side of the ink pad. I would suggest, I'm going to grab a pen for class. I would just use our watercolor, not alcohol markers, regular water-based markers, because I want to hold it over this so that it's lined up, but I sort of want this to be straight. So I'm going to try to get my head in here. Line my stamp up pretty good so that it's holding this picture. I probably just messed that up, but oh good, it's still sticking, so I'm going to press that down a little harder. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'll be able to pop that back up there, line it up, and it'll look like he's holding it. Okay, so let's do some coloring quick. Let me grab my scrap paper back in here. Just so that I can give you what colors I'm using. I am using Poppy Parade. And I'm not sure. I used Poppy Parade because I grabbed that as the ink, as the paper. So, oh, this is not a great end on this pen. So, make a list of things I need to grab for class later. I am recording this like an hour or 2 before class, so just on a little bit of a time crunch here. Had to move my class upstairs because I didn't have time to get my stamp room completely cleaned. And just a lot of things going on. I haven't gotten back since the fundraiser, and then I'm right into a Stamp-A-Stack and retreat stuff. So I feel like I'm keeping up decently. I have a ton of work to do yet, but if you're watching this, you probably saw my post and why I didn't go live with this last night. My granddaughter is in the hospital and was transferred to Hershey. I went up and stayed with Tosh at the hospital till she was transferred. So that's where I was last night, and she's doing fine. She's had 2 really bad seizures, and so they are checking her out to see what's going on and make sure like there's nothing other than the seizure activity. And so we'll go up and be with them later after class today. Okay, I just did that in a little crosshatch pattern, and I'm going to go ahead and put just a little snow down here. I mean a little blue under the snow. And a good way to blend it, if you have your lightest color, is to take your color lifter and go in and blend that a little bit. I don't have my color lifter with me, so. And interesting enough is I am like totally looking at the wrong card as my inspiration here. So it might help if I do look at the right card. I'm looking at this card, which is a card I did for a team event. Crazy. Let me just show it to you in case you didn't get to see that before, but it's a really fun, it's just a fun fold I like to do for team events. But anyways, that's with the set as well. Okay, so back to this. This is not at all how it was done on my card. No wonder it looked a little funky, like my sled is brown here, but interestingly enough, I didn't bring a brown in here, so it's going to be red. How's that sound? All right, we're going to grab Old Olive, and I think I'm going to use the darkest one here and see how that looks. That might be just a little dark. Let's try the lighter one. I want to be able to see the design in the tree, so. And then we're going to use Wink of Stella again. We're using it a lot today. So happy that it's back in stock. It was out for over a year, and I don't know what was going on with the company that makes it, but yeah, it was bad to not have that available for you guys. So I didn't use it a lot just because I didn't want to frustrate everybody. I had plenty here, but for my use, but I don't like to show things to people when I know they can't get them, and we had no date when they were coming back, so I wasn't gonna like color all of this for you, but I've been yakking like a maniac. So we're almost done. All right, I just slopped that on there because it's a swirly tree, right? How can you mess it up? I did forget to grab an orange for his nose, and we definitely want to do that. I am going to color his hat in. We're not going to see a lot of it, but I'm going to go ahead and at least make part of this black, and then we'll do the brim. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to add a little Wink of Stella, maybe to Mr. Snowman here, and to the snow. He's melting, so it's definitely shimmering, right? Let's put a little bit here on his face. And then I'm going to put it on the little balls on the tree. Oh my goodness. Wink of Stella just adds such a dimension. Okay, and then this artist had a little bit of Pool Party as a shade around the snowman. And because we have Pool Party in our card, that will help pull that color together a little bit. And maybe a little bit here on the tree. And I'm going to put a little bit over here. Okay. It's not a lot, and you probably can't even see it on video, but it just adds some depth behind the snowman to make them look more 3D. Okay, let's get some dimensionals on here. Where's my big dimensionals? I'm going to put quite a few because this one didn't have very many on it, and this is a very large circle, so it's not the biggest one in the set, but it's pretty large, and so it will just buckle and sag for you. And then let me just put that aside for a second so we can get our layers down here. So we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and use some green glue here for this. And this swirl, you can decide which side you like best. I really, it's a toss-up. They're both raised. Now, I checked this beforehand to make sure that it was coming out. And it was. All right, that's going to pop on there. What's nice about this is you can scoot it a little bit while it's still wet. And then for this, I had cut some things out in this on this back side, but I figured that I'm covering this area, so I still decided to use this because there's no use wasting paper, right? And we're just going to stick this here. Pop this red piece. I could have embossed this piece too. That might have been pretty. But I definitely need to cover that area that is messed up there. So make sure I cover that. And then we can pop this on here. And I have another little surprise for you that I'm so excited about. Let me find my hello here. I think I'm just not going to pop this up because we've already popped this part up. Let's get that matched up to... Oh, I guess I did this a little crooked. Oh well, I guess it's not going to look terrible if it's not quite straight, but usually if I try to make something look crooked, I really make it look crooked. In this case, I just got it a little bit crooked, but I think it's going to be okay. All right, we have these gorgeous, gorgeous little snowflakes, snowflake sequins, and we're going to add some of those. There's a couple really big ones. I don't want those. So I'm going to show you how I use them. I'm going to just pop a couple on the lid so that they are more flat and I can grab them. So we'll get my take your pick tool ready. I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to put a little dot of glue on it, as tiny as I can, and then I'm just going to pop it down with my fingernail. Pick it up. There's enough glue. Whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. And then pop it in place. And our green glue dries clear, so whenever this is dry, you won't be able to see where my glue was. Let's go ahead and put one more here. And maybe I'll grab one of these sequins too, because they're pretty. There's silver ones and there's white ones. There's little stars. There's just a lot of different things in here made for shaker cards, but I think this card just needs, oops. The glue on this, it's a concave surface, and so the glue went into the concave, but I think there's enough on there that it should hold it. So there it is, all finished. Isn't that pretty? Okay, that is it. Don't forget, the host code here is for October. When you use that code by the 15th, you will be assured of a set of the cards that I showed you tonight. And what else? I don't know. Don't forget that their stamp sets are on sale. Oh, I know what else. Guys, this month they're offering $155 worth of product in our starter kit for $99. and you get free shipping with that. And you can choose some of these sets. If you sign up in the next 2 days, you can add some of these sets on for the sale price. And if you add our kits, they're on sale. All of our kits are on sale this month. So it's a great time to start. Imagine how much you can get with all of the sale items in your kit. If they're discounted already and you get $155 worth of product, it is a great time to get a kit. Join my team. Stay as long as you want. Leave when you want. There is no pressure for me to sell, to buy, whatever. It is very relaxed. We try to have a team event by Zoom every month. And like I said, that last project was a couple months ago we did that. And when my life is not out of whack, we have team events. And we also meet in person occasionally for fun things and card swaps and things like that. So join us. If you love the products and you love a discount, you get 20% discount on everything immediately, and you can earn a bigger discount as you go and stay longer. And so anyways, the website here, also, you just click on that and you can click join now and it'll walk you right through it. If you have problems or you have questions that you want to ask me before you take that step, please give me a call or message me on here and I will try to get a hold of you. That is it, guys. I will hopefully see you next Monday evening. I have some fun projects to show you. I just can't seem to get it done. So